Yesterday did not entirely suck, but today does though. So I guess it kind of all evens out in the end. In fact, yesterday was more than just not a sucky day. It was the best day I've had in 2.5 weeks. And given how rough the last 2.5 weeks have been, I really, really needed that. So let me kind of start with the positive and then we'll go to the negative. So basically, let's start with yesterday and then we'll move on to today. So, yesterday, or the day before yesterday, as you remember, turns out I broke another rib. Or at least I think I did. At this point, I'm not 100% sure. Simply because first day it happened, felt the exact same way. Like super painful every time I coughed, difficulty breathing, everything. But I made sure to lie very flat on my back all night long to not go on the side at all. And when I woke up in the morning, the pain was almost completely gone. It was still there. I could still feel it. It still hurt whenever I coughed, but I could breathe normally. Well, normally. The new normal, the normal that's been my normal for the last couple weeks, without having any pain. And it's pretty much still like that. So there is still pain. So I'm assuming it's broken. It's just not broken as severely as the last rib that I broke, which is why it's not as painful. I'm not sure why it was so painful in the beginning and now it's not so bad. I'm definitely not going to complain. So I guess maybe there's a slight possibility that it's not broken, that it's something else. But if it's not that, then I don't really know what it is. So I'm assuming it's just a smaller fracture than the first time. Anyway, all that to say, yesterday, no breathing issues or, breathing overall has been getting better. Coughing overall has been getting better. And when I say better, I do mean better, not good, not completely fixed, not back to normal, far from it, but better. That's pretty much the only word that I can use to describe everything that's been happening lately. It's either worse or better, but it's not back to normal. Nothing at this point is back to normal. But it was good enough yesterday that I was able to go out for the first time in 2.5 weeks and actually buy food. Because at this point, I'm pretty much out of food, and the food that I have left, just the thought of eating it kind of makes me want to throw up. Even though it's normal, healthy, delicious food, there are just certain types of food now that my body, just the thought of, oh, yeah. So I'm like, all right, I feel like it can handle like those, canned soup type of thing, like minestrone soup or minestrone, I forget how it's pronounced. Type of soup, like in a can. I'm like, I feel like I can stomach that. It's not too dense. It still has some vegetables and stuff like that. Some decent amount of calories and everything. So I think that would work. I also spoke to my nurse yesterday morning, and she mentioned like try white bread, not brown bread or any other type of bread, white bread, because you want to try to avoid fibers. So keep eating fruits. That seems to be working for you. You might just want to peel them first to avoid as much fiber as you can. Avoid protein because you've been throwing up as a result of, consuming protein whenever you tried protein bars or protein shakes or stuff like that. So try to avoid protein as much as you can. So try bread, focus on soup, like small things like that. Don't try to overdo it. Don't try to force your body. Just take it easy. So all that to say, I'm like, all right, I feel like I can stomach those canned soups. So let's go buy a bunch of those. Well, a bunch. I bought 6 of those. And also watermelon was on sale, so I bought a watermelon and I bought a white loaf of bread, which I have not bought in, I don't know, probably like 10 years at this point. So yeah, I was able to go out and buy that yesterday. Yes, okay. There was a moment where I was walking down the street and a guy with a cane passed me, and that kind of hit hard on the ego. It's like, wow, okay, you have serious health issues when a guy with a cane passes you. Sure, I was carrying groceries. Sure, I was out of breath. Sure, given everything that I'm going through and that I continue to go through, there is no reason to feel bad. But still, there's still the knowledge that some dude with a cane passed me while I was walking down the street. So yeah, that definitely hit a little hard. But aside from that, it was actually a very good day. So Started off the day. What did I have for breakfast? Oh yeah, frozen strawberries. That went down relatively well. And then when I came back from grocery shopping, sliced up some watermelon, ate some of that, was really good. A couple hours after that, ate a whole can of soup, and it's like one of those like big cans like this, about like this high, something like that. So, a good like full solid bowl to the point where I got to the end and I'm like, yeah, I probably should have eaten this in like two different meals, but somehow my body was able to handle it and keep it down. And I really didn't feel that bad. Like there was a few moments where I'm like, okay, maybe it's gonna come back out, but it didn't. Everything was great. Yesterday was one of the rare days when I didn't throw up. And yeah, because of the breathing issues and everything, like everything about yesterday was better than every other day, aside from being passed on the sidewalk by that guy in a cane. So yesterday was a very good day. So I'm like, all right, let's focus tomorrow. Today is going to be an even better day. So when I went to bed early, same as usual. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the same as last night. I'm going to lie on my back, stay on the back all night long, and hopefully when I wake up, I'll feel even better. Unfortunately, midway through the night, wake up and for some reason, I somehow ended up on my side and I have this really intense pain on my upper back, like between my shoulder blades, to the point where it's like it hurts to move. And I'm like, oh crap, that is not good. So I'm like, get up, go to the bathroom, and then go back to bed on my back once again. Eventually managed to fall back asleep. As usual, wake up a bunch of times throughout the night, but that's kind of part of my life at the moment. It's just how it is. So it's not really unusual. Unfortunately, I guess because I spent all that time on my back, both the night before and yesterday, and by the time I woke up in the morning, now my lower back, aka my coccyx, was hurting. So the pain in the upper back is mostly gone. The rib pain is mostly gone. I can still feel it. I can still definitely, there's a little pain when I cough. But, on top of that, now I have coccyx pain. So, yeah, basically, there's like three different spots in my back that hurt at this point. Not very intense. It could definitely be worse, but it's definitely not better than it was yesterday. So, yesterday did not completely suck, and today kind of does. So, plus, of course, I threw up this morning, but at this point, it's not really something unusual. It's kind of like someone asking me, like, hey, what did you do this morning? Oh, got up, brushed my teeth, threw up, took a shower. It's just like kind of part of my routine at this point. Not really. It doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen at the same time, but it's like it's happened often enough in the last 2.5 weeks that it's no longer news. It's no longer a surprise when it happens. It's just like, all right, let's get it over with and move on with our life. So, yeah. Plus, the other thing is, part of my morning routine is going in YouTube studios and just kind of looking at the stats, how many views my last video got, stuff like that. It's not really that important. It's just something I've taken the habit of doing and it's kind of fun, especially when videos get more views. It's like, oh, cool, I'm up to, as an example, the video from yesterday is up to almost 2,000 views. I'm like, oh, that's nice to see in the morning. And when you first go into YouTube Studios, the welcome page has an overview of different things. So it's like, okay, the money you've earned in the last 28 days, the total amount of views on all your videos, stuff like that, like your last 3 videos with all the stats for that, and the last 3 comments. And I just happened to glance at the comments, and of course, I see a comment of someone, I don't remember the exact wording, but it was basically, you should just accept it and get ready for the end. And I'm like, at this point, I've seen so many different types of comments and I've seen a couple of those and they really don't get to me. It's really not a big deal. It's just like, well, that's not the best way to start the day, I would have preferred just noticing like a nice positive comment. So anyway, not a big deal. It's just once again like add all those things up and it's definitely not looking to be as good a day today as it was yesterday. But I don't know. Maybe it's going to get better. I'm hoping maybe to be able to go for a walk. It depends on the weather. It depends on how I feel. Every day I hope to go for a walk, and most days I'm not able to, so I don't want to get my hopes up, but we'll see. At least it's not a horrible day, but it's just not a great day. It's just another average, kind of crappy, sucky day. But at this point, that's kind of become my new normal, so can't really complain. I mean, I could, that's just not who I am. So yeah, that's been the last couple days. So check back in tomorrow, hopefully with good news.